All right, let's dive into a dating trend that's really starting to catch on. And for a super simple reason, it just feels better. It's called clear coding, and it's interesting because it taps directly into how our brains are wired. So let's just start with a question that I'm pretty sure most of us have asked ourselves. You know the drill. You get a really warm text, and then nothing. They seem super into you in person, but online, they're distant. Why does that push and pull feel so incredibly draining? Well, it's not just in your head. There's a real neurological reason for that exhaustion.
And that really brings us to the heart of the problem in a lot of modern dating. This constant, stressful game of decoding everything. It feels like you're always trying to piece together a puzzle, but you've only got like half the pieces.
It usually starts with those vague signals, right? The YWD text at 11 p.m., the non-committal "let's hang out sometime," that one emoji that could mean literally anything or absolutely nothing.
All of that leads to what feels like mixed intentions. One minute you think you're building towards something real, and the next you feel like you're just a casual option. That kind of inconsistency is just incredibly confusing for our brains to try and process.
And the result of all this? You get stuck in this state of endless decoding. You're rereading texts, analyzing every little thing they do, you're asking your friends what they think. It becomes a full-time mental job that can leave you feeling completely exhausted before anything is even really started. But what if there was an antidote to all this chaos? Well, that's exactly where clear coding comes in. Think of it as a direct response to that mental fatigue of modern dating. So, what is it exactly? Honestly, clear coding is pretty simple. It's just the practice of saying what you mean and what you're looking for directly and early on. No games, no guesswork. It's all about being upfront about whether you're looking for something casual, something serious, or maybe you're just exploring. But why does this trend feel so powerful? It's not just some social preference, it's actually deeply rooted in our neuroscience. So let's get into what's actually happening inside your brain when you're faced with all that ambiguity. Okay, the big idea here is that you have to think of your brain as a prediction machine. Its number one job all day long is to guess what's going to happen next. It does this to keep you safe and to conserve energy, and it absolutely loves patterns and certainty. Now, when you get those mixed messages, it creates something called a prediction error. The outcome doesn't match what your brain expected, and your brain kind of scrambles. It has to constantly rework its entire model of the situation, and that is what triggers that obsessive loop of rereading texts and checking your phone. This overanalysis can even activate your brain's threat detection systems, making you feel anxious and on edge. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got what uncertainty does. Your brain is in total overdrive. It's juggling prediction errors, your amygdala is lighting up sensing threats, and it's a huge mental load. But then, on the right, with clarity, your brain is just at ease. The predictions match reality, which creates cognitive ease and sends these nice, calming safety signals throughout your entire nervous system. And this brings us to the really good part of all this. Just as much as uncertainty is stressful, clarity is profoundly calming. This quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We tend to think that rejection is the absolute worst-case scenario, but from your brain's point of view, a confusing maybe is way more stressful. A clear no, even if it stings for a minute, it provides an answer. It lets your brain stop all that predicting and actually start processing, which is in the end a lot less work. So this is a crucial point. This isn't just an excuse to be blunt or harsh. Effective clear coding isn't about dropping truth bombs without caring about how the other person feels. It's all about pairing that honesty with kindness and respect. It's actually a huge sign of emotional maturity. Yeah, the real goal here is to be able to state your needs without making demands, to set boundaries respectfully, and to be specific about your own intentions. The point isn't to try and control the other person or force some kind of outcome. It's just to reduce all that mental and emotional static for everyone involved. And when you look at it that way, clear coding stops being just another dating trend. It becomes what you could call a nervous system-friendly way of relating to other people. It's a communication style that actively lowers stress and actually creates the right conditions for trust to be built. And that is the ultimate takeaway here. Our brains are fundamentally wired to look for safety and predictability. So when someone offers you clarity, when their words actually line up with their actions, it does a lot more than just make them seem attractive. It actually has a regulating, calming effect on your entire nervous system.
Which kind of leaves us with a final thought to consider. In a world that is so saturated with ambiguity and mixed signals, maybe the most attractive quality a person can have is just the courage to be clear. Is directness becoming the new standard for attraction? It's definitely something to think about.
Thanks for watching.